What is going on, everybody? We are back with another discussion about Strange New Worlds. This week, we're talking about episode 5 of season 3. And that episode is entitled Through the Lens of Time. My name is Will, and this is my co host,
My name is Caleb. I co-host the podcast.
and we are going to start our discussion of episode 5.
Goodbye, 1966. Yes, the times are changing with new stories and sweet kicks, and Mr. Warfare dancing. Red alert, set phasers to fun. Incoming message, the podcast has begun. From Pike to Freeman in the mix, let's get our Star Trek fix. Paying homage to the classics. It's new track who dis. Who dis? It's new track who dis. Who dis? It's new track who dis. Who dis? It's new track who dis. Who dis?
Before we get into our discussion, our non-spoiler discussion of the episode, let's first go over to Caleb and ask Caleb, what would he rank the episode out of 5 deltas?
Ooh, out of five, boy, I'll just give it a 3 this week. It's just a solid 3.
Yeah, okay. Interesting. Last night when I was thinking about it, I was thinking about 4,
Yeah,
but I do think 3 kind of feels more fitting. But the thing I think you and I both can agree is that if this ends up being more meaningful than it seems, then I might give it a 4, like
yeah.
retroactively.
I feel like there's stuff in it that may go somewhere, but
Yeah.
it's hard to say now. Yeah, I'm sure people get sick of hearing me say it, but it's like Star Trek for me is always, well, there's a lot I like and there's a lot I don't like about the episode.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
So like, majority of it was fun. It got better because honestly, the intro
Yeah, it wasn't.
setting up like everybody going down to the planet, I was just like, my God,
Yeah.
like I'm getting real sick of that stuff. And it's just characters acting weird this season for me.
Yep, I agree.
Like people are just acting like not like them, like their characters. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know how to explain it.
So it looks like our official rating of the episode is 3 deltas.
3.5.
No, and so now, what would be your non-spoiler review of the episode?
Like you said, like we'll know more when the season is over, but I don't know. I feel like even like right now going through season 2 of Next Gen, it's like just watch every episode.
Yeah,
Don't skip around. I don't know. I mean, there's good stuff in this episode. It's I feel like it has a good plot, like through and through. So
yeah, it's totally breakaway from like the last 3 episodes.
yeah,
It harkens a little bit more back to the season premiere, and I think pulls away very firmly away from last 3 episodes.
gotcha. See, I still think that Mbenga and Pike on the zombie planet is still like the best episode this season so far. I feel like that's pretty strongly up there for the list so far. This is probably a second for me,
Mhm.
this episode. I feel like they're actually doing Star Trek stuff in this one. They're
Yeah,
actually
yeah,
like investigating stuff, and then there's like a thing that they have to solve. It's a very classic, like stuff bad is happening on the planet, and also there's stuff bad happening on the ship that they have to take care of.
right.
Very classic
Very
Trek.
classic. The thing for me is that while Shuttle to Kenfori was fun and like interesting and a decent episode, and it obviously I enjoyed it more than this episode, I do feel that the premise of this
Hmm.
episode is, like you're saying, more in the Star Trek world.
Definitely. Yeah.
Nothing against, Moss zombies, but like it was a little much for Star Trek.
It was. Yeah. No, I agree with that. I think the reason that that episode was, well, first of all, it's a lot of stuff that I enjoy
Right.
in
Well,
sci-fi.
yeah,
But I think what made that episode better at the time was that, like, they're still dealing with, like, some of the Marie stuff.
that's also true.
Because the episode before that was just like, oh, it's just a whimsical wedding and everything's great. And then it was like, oh, Marie's still, like, being killed
Yeah.
by the Gorn inside. Like, okay. Well, that's good.
And I also think too that learning more about Mbenga's thing was like pretty impactful that he had killed the ambassador. Like there was
Yeah. Oh, yeah,
a definitive line in the sand
yeah,
kind of a
yeah, yeah,
thing.
yeah. Yeah. Plus, I'm down for any time that like Pike and M'Benga are doing stuff on screen together. That's always
True,
good.
true,
Pretty
yeah.
good stuff. Yeah.
And they're good in this episode too.
Yeah.
Well, that sounds like Caleb and I are about to get into
Ooh,
spoilers.
spoilers.
Recommend we go to red alert.
Red alert!
I enjoyed the opening with Gamble and Mbenga. And I thought that was really great. I enjoyed their
Yeah,
interaction.
it was really good. Yeah. I really liked him.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah. So that's the thing that Strange New Worlds does to me is they introduce these characters that I really love, and then they're just like they're gone.
Yep.
Don't use them. But then you
Yeah.
have these other like core members of the show that are like, yeah, but they're not around in the future though. So
Right. It was like, other than his, I don't know, I didn't really dislike him picking up the orb thing, but
no.
at the same time, it's like, it's a little like, it's traditional Trek. I mean, it goes all the way back to the TOS stuff where like some
Yeah, yeah,
18 person is touching something they shouldn't touch. It happens all the time.
yeah.
But
He didn't even have gloves.
right. That would be the only thing I didn't enjoy about his performance, like his character choices that in this episode. That was like my one complaint,
It's just
and it's fine. You know what I mean?
that's the thing about Star Trek though, is like you make these characters like super smart and super, scientific,
Yeah,
and then it's like, well, plot has to happen.
exactly.
What if
Yeah,
he does something really stupid that would be like against protocol and all his training and pick up this mysterious thing and like look right into it?
I bring it right to his.
Yeah. So that's pretty lame, honestly. It's pretty lazy writing,
Yeah,
but that is also Star Trek writing. So
it is
it
also
is what
Star
it
Trek.
is.
Right? It is. But other than that, I really enjoy his character, and since we're in spoiler territory, like I
Yeah.
was legitimately bummed on like how it ended with his character. And I was just like,
Yeah, I didn't want him to die. That bummed me out pretty good. But it's just funny too because like it also showed kind of like how good of an actor he is in this
hmm
episode.
yeah,
But like, oh well.
yeah, it's true. Like I think it's interesting. I honestly don't really know how I super feel about it, but the camera stuff was like kind of interesting.
Getting sick of it, honestly.
Yeah,
It's just one of these things where it's like it's interesting, but it's like that's Ortegas's brother. Isn't that fun? It's like, no, I don't really care about it. And it's like
yeah,
they're trying to push him and
I
Uhura to
know.
like have a kind of a relationship, and it's like, okay.
Yeah.
Only thing I think every time I see that camera is this legitimately like how they're explaining why there is like Star Trek?
I almost thought the same thing.
Because like you know how you always say like in the future it's like, well, look at this footage. And it's like
Like,
what we see as the audience. So it's like, are they saying that like this camera is like a Starfleet thing that like follows the crew and now records missions and stuff? And like
right.
that's where they get the footage to show us the footage. It's like
I
it's
know.
kind of fun, maybe, but it's also like I don't
Like,
need that stuff explained.
I don't need to
Like
be like
that,
so meta into it that like when there's
yeah.
this angle that they're catching everybody shooting, they're doing something. It's like, well, that's because the
Yeah.
drone camera is following them and
Yeah, in
recording things.
TOS when they re-show like the Pike stuff
Oh,
that we've already seen, my brain isn't like, how did they film that? I need to know how that was filmed. That's weird. It's like, dude, it's a show. Like that's not the stuff I care about. There's a lot of other stuff in the show that like I need explained. The
yeah.
camera footage, not one of them.
No, that's low on my list.
Pretty low. But I don't know, that's where my brain immediately went. I was like, this is legitimately how they're explaining that like
I
why there's footage of the ship and crew and stuff. It's
Right.
like
I mean, obviously, it ends up lending to itself with the whole bit at the end, which was kind of neat, actually. And I enjoyed
yeah,
that.
all the time thing, yeah.
But exactly what you said, I was like, exactly are they trying to set up here? I thought the Najal guy was cool when they get down to the planet. Whatever.
He was cool.
His name, I think his name was Najal, and then I think he was a Macroon, I think is what.
Macaroon.
But I
Yeah.
enjoyed his design.
Yeah, he was pretty good. Cool design. Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed the like little pedestal fountain thing, like the anomaly effect on it was cool. I enjoyed
Oh,
that.
it was cool. Yeah. I like the entrance to the temple with like the needle.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
it reminds me of Subnautica. In Subnautica, the planet that you're on is like on quarantine. It's like lockdown
Okay.
on quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
So like for anybody to like leave the atmosphere, you have to, the whole point of the game is like you have to get rid of the disease, the
Mm.
quarantine disease. So like when you go to like disable the planetary defense system, it's this
Okay.
thing you have to put your hand in, this giant like needle comes out and like stabs you to like read if you have like the virus in you or not.
I see.
And if you don't, then it disables the planetary defense. But it's just like a really, I was like, hey, that's kind of cool. That's a cool
It
having the needle
is.
come out and like take the blood and stuff. I like that.
Yeah, it was cool.
I don't know if it really was like a prison, like they were saying. Seems like they wouldn't just
Kind of
let
seemed.
anybody's DNA enter the building, you know?
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe that was their way of testing if they were like alive or if they
I don't
were
know.
not
It's weird.
overtaken by things. Yeah, I don't know.
That stuff was weird to me because I don't know.
But did you enjoy the hilarious Jaws joke? Did you really enjoy that? Before she sticks her hand in the machine and gets pricked, its side
Oh,
turns into the thing.
we're gonna need more crew.
Yeah.
Yeah, funny. It was so non that I couldn't even fathom what you were talking about. It's a
Yeah, no,
Jaws reference.
yeah.
It's a little bit of a stretch, Will.
You know it's what it
No, I didn't.
was.
Yeah,
The bodies are interesting. I was trying to figure out what race they were. Obviously I
no
couldn't,
idea.
but
Doesn't matter.
man, yeah, him picking up that orb thing and it just like burning his face out was like
Pretty
okay.
intense.
Yeah, it was a lot. And then we basically figure out like immediately that this is just like a giant death temple. It's just like,
Yeah,
oh, this is gonna be terrible.
yeah, it's real bad in there.
And she's like, no, he's not saying danger. He's saying evil. And he's like, evil, evil. And it's like, and it's like, nah,
Zoom,
you're
just
just,
like
you're just,
completely dissolved him. Yeah. I thought it was cool, like before that, like how they did show that, like when people were outside or going in the door, like they were always with Chapel. Because her and Lahan, like, are out talking to Pike and they both come back in the door, like inside the temple.
yeah, to talk
And
to.
that's when he's like, oh, yeah, so the camera, I put the camera through here and you can see in there. And then that guy runs and then he gets killed. And they're like, we've been fine because we've been with Chapel, like every time we've entered and left.
Right.
I just thought that was a cool, like, actually showing that before it happened was nice, not just like a throwaway line.
I totally know what you mean.
Yeah,
It was nice. But then people don't get killed when they're separated from Chapel.
I like that.
It becomes convenient pairing, or as
Well, yeah,
Adri told me, she says this is called forced proximity trope.
that's good. The temple knew to pair up the couples.
Put the budding new couple together, put the jealous boyfriends together, and put the jealous girlfriends together.
Yeah. I really hated the beginning, by the way, the beginning of the whole like
Oh
Chapel
yeah.
asking about Spock and Lon's
Yeah.
like, it's really kind of none of your business. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, I don't like care. I don't care about it. I just
No, I just
want to
care about it.
know. I just want to know about it. It's like, my God. Now it's
Yeah.
like this thing. I was so happy that it kind of just,
Yeah, that's which is why I didn't even talk about it because I'm
yeah.
over it and it's meaningless. It doesn't
But
mean
at least it just like dissipated in the episode pretty
yes.
quickly. It was like, hey, there might be tension on the planet side. And then Spock was like, no, I'm staying on the ship. And it was like, well, that's good. And then he comes down anyway.
Well,
Yeah, tension on the ship.
plus he has to say his little, I know you may not love me, but if you just listen to me, he has to have that, he has to have his bit. So,
Yeah, no, it was good.
but yeah, they go through the thing when where Lon and Chapel were, the like crystal thing was very interesting, and I liked that it was in a constant state of flux, and that was very
Yeah, it
cool.
was cool how I thought, at first I thought it was like one of those things where it's like they went into different sections of the area, but like to come to find out that they were in different time planes, I thought that was cool. The
Yeah,
whole like, when Spock sees that he's got a cut on his hand and he's bleeding, and he's like, here he is. But then when they get back into the same time plane, he doesn't have the cut. I was like, oh man, that's really cool. And then he cuts himself underneath the thing.
yeah.
That's
I
cool.
think he says something too, and he's like,
Curiouser and curiouser.
yeah, I think he says something like obvious or something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that. Yeah.
I just love how, Ding Dong. He's supposed to be this, great archaeologist. He's supposed to know all this stuff, and then you bring Spock, and he's the one that figures everything out because,
Yeah.
like, he's the best.
And Chapel, right? He doesn't figure
Yes.
out like anything.
Oh,
He just stands
yeah,
there.
yeah.
I don't think you should go through that door.
I wouldn't go through that door. Looks very suspicious. No, we have to believe that the dough is there.
And
Yeah, I don't.
it was a thing where the stuff down on the planet was like, I was interested. I obviously liked the background. I liked what they were like promoting. Adri said to me at one point, she was like, this feels like too much, like too over the top, like advancement. And I was like, at the same time, this is just them coming across like a hyper advanced civilization. It's no different than like
Yeah.
the episode we watched where Picard, Worf, and Data go down to the planet and they see the Iconian thing and they can go through the portal. Like Picard
Yeah,
walks
yeah,
through
yeah.
and he shows up on the
So,
Romulan ship. It's
so
like
the
it's
thing is, like, that's what that would have looked like if we
cool.
had the technology that we have then, right? I mean,
Exactly. Right. That's all it is.
it
Yeah.
doesn't pull me out of the episode. I get what she means. It's like it's the same way I feel about engineering on the Enterprise.
Yeah.
It's massive and it doesn't. I like the actual set, small set
Right.
build. You know,
I,
like I prefer that. But I
I don't,
get like we have all
yeah,
this technology. It's supposed to be this advanced thing. Let's use
you're right.
CGI.
Don't you feel though, to your point, that they have like way cut down on showing engineering like that
Yeah,
because
yeah.
it didn't look good, and so now they use these other angles where everything is like tight and the consoles are like tight
Well,
instead.
it's like every time we see engineering now, we don't see the engine. We see the table.
Right, exactly,
We see
exactly.
the main table that they work on.
Yeah,
The episode where Scotty's doing the holodeck stuff, he's just in that one room swapping cards, and it's like they don't show
no,
anything else, and it's like, there you go, engineering. Because remember, you can move engineer that all that stuff. You can move all that stuff to that one panel up here on the bridge. So, I mean, just
right.
remember that it doesn't need to be. You don't need
No.
to be in the warp core engine.
Are you sure?
No, Trip does because in that time period, you're actually like turning wrenches. This is like, hey, oh no, the engines are fluxing. There we go, all set.
Got it, man. So
Yeah.
him getting blasted in the face to get him up to the med bay, they put that visor on. We were talking about
It
it.
was pretty graphic too for Star Trek when he's got his hands up and I was like, oh man, that doesn't look good. And then he's like, my eyes, and it was just like just seared holes, and he had like blood all over his like his uniform. I
Yeah,
was like,
yeah.
holy crap, that's not good.
It was pretty rough. But the thing that was weird, he scans him later, a little bit later into
Yeah,
the episode, and
he's like, I have no brain
he's
function.
like, you don't have
Hmm.
any brain activity? Like that's strange. And
Well, that's the name of the show. Strange New Worlds.
it was interesting. And they kind of like tip the hat, and you don't really realize it until later in the episode.
Yeah.
So when Gamble is sitting in the chair and he's like, oh man, Joseph, blah, blah, blah. And he's like, oh, wow, you used my first name. And he's like, yeah. And then he's like, what happened? What even, like, how did this even happen? And Benga, like, explains to him. He's like,
Hmm.
yeah, not only are my eyes injured, but my short-term memory just, like, isn't good. And then later on, you realize, like, Gamble's been dead pretty much since they beamed him up. And this thing in him is, like, can read people's minds, but it doesn't know enough information. So it's, like,
Yeah.
gathering information.
Yeah, it's good. I appreciated that aspect of it. Like, whatever this is, this alien entity or whatever they're trying to say it is, I
Right.
appreciated how it functioned.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was pretty good.
And
I mean, this is a classic. I feel like this is a
oh,
classic Trek thing where
classic.
it's like they're acting weird,
Cla-
weirder than normal. How many times have we seen that? I mean, like that happened to Picard, it happened to Kirk, like
like
a regular
I,
season thing.
one of the things I immediately was thinking was in the original series, there's an episode called Wolf in Sheep's Clothing, something like that.
That sounds like
And Jack, the entity called like Red Jack, it's like an alien cloud thing like this, and it goes inside people. And it basically is the Jack the Ripper entity. So it's like
hey.
Jack the Ripper was a person, but this like entity just went into a person, made him kill all these people, and then now he's off doing his own thing.
Oh, that's
So,
kind of cool, actually.
so in the episode, Scotty gets it, and he becomes like quote unquote Jack the Ripper in the episode.
I gotta
It's
watch this one.
so like people getting and taken over by weird cloud alien things that are malevolent.
Well,
It's very
Kirk gets
normal.
taken over by the other woman that wants to be captain.
Right. It's very normal. But the part I did like right before they like tip the hand, before you obviously know that this something bad is happening. So like Mbeka goes over to the wall and it shows Gamble, and he like sits up a little bit, and he like
Hmm.
looks over at him, and then he like sits back. He kind of like leans back and keeps talking, and I was like, "That's interesting."
Yeah.
And
He
then,
can see.
right, exactly, yeah. But
Even with the visor thing on. Well, that's such a classic filming trope anyway. The whole like, here's Mbanga, here's the guy, and now the
mhm.
camera pans in front of Mbanga just enough to cover up the guy in the background, and then the camera shifts past him and he's doing something different, or
Yeah,
he's closer, or he's gone.
yeah,
It's such a
yes,
classic,
yes, yes,
So
yes,
when you see those angles, you're just like, all right, just wait for it. But I
yeah.
do like the slow reveal. Even the end
Oh,
when
him like
they're
sitting up
like,
in the
"Hey,
chair,
he's not Gamble. Like he hasn't been Gamble.
right? Yeah,
Good.
yeah, it was very good. The thing that we talked about off camera was that, like, I don't know how I feel about them saying that they can reconstitute his eyes. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
It's a little okay, and it's a little like we don't understand like the Star Trek timeline. So
Yeah.
I don't know
Well, it's
where
one
I
of those things
sit
where it's
on it,
like
but
I haven't seen a lot of stuff moving forward with like Geordi, obviously, but like I don't know.
yeah,
It's like, is it because like it just happened? They have the ability to fix it because it like just happened. Maybe
yeah.
Geordi wasn't that lucky. I don't know.
It's a thing where you almost always consistently feel like in Strange New Worlds that if there's new tech that would be helpful in the future, somebody's just like, hey, don't talk about that anymore.
Yeah,
And you're like,
they don't
okay,
use it anymore or
right,
whatever.
because it's
But
dangerous
it
or something. But it's like,
But so even for me, the whole like Geordie eyesight thing is like I like that that's part of his character. I'm
right,
not saying I don't like it, but it's just one of those things where it's like you write the show and it's like so futuristic and you can create robots and you can replicate stuff, with atoms. It's like, and you're telling me you can't make this guy like new eyes?
nope, can't
Like
do
it doesn't make any sense. Like
it. Yeah,
whatever.
totally, I understand. But no, we get to see inside one of the orbs that Spock is looking at through the visor that he picks off the guy, which was cool.
Yeah,
We get to
like how it doesn't blow up in Spock's face though.
no, but I
The
don't know.
visor thing was cool.
That's what I
The
mean.
like,
Like,
yeah.
yeah, but I don't know. See, the thing I don't know was Spock seeing it because he's seen it, or was the screaming beast in the orb? See, I didn't know how to feel about that.
Right. I don't know how I felt about that either. I think they kind of solved that with the whole like Marie thing in the room. Makes me feel like they are implying that thing in the, containment is somehow related to like the
Yeah.
Gorn stuff.
Well, the thing that they kind of like promote in the episode is that this thing is ancient. Just like the force
Yeah,
that's these in Gamble, and I think even perhaps in the temple thing, they kind of promote this idea that everything is it's like incredibly old, and it's like so old that even Pelia's character, it's like it's even older for her, and she's been around
yeah,
for an incredible
like
long amount of
centuries.
time.
Now, is she acting the whole episode for the camera or is
Yes.
she,
Yeah,
yeah,
100%. I didn't think so until she said, "Do you want one for the camera?" And then I was like,
yeah.
"Okay, she's been doing this the whole time," which was great. It was great for her
Which is pretty
character.
good for her. I was glad to see her back. Yeah.
And that's the thing that I said to Adri during when we were watching it. I was just like, I latch on to these characters more so than the other characters because they're not legacy characters. Like Laan is
Yep.
interesting, and I really like Gamble, and like
Yeah.
Pelia is fun. And it's not like
Even
I
in
dis
Banga, to me,
right.
isn't a leg. I mean, he is, but he's
He is,
not. You know
but
what I
he's
mean?
not. Yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
But it's just like I don't know. I get so bogged down that like I can't really enjoy any of the other stuff with the characters too much because they keep doing stuff that like they would never do that. And then it's like,
Yeah.
but in 3 or 4 years they're totally different people, and you're like, okay, whatever. But
Yeah, like drastically different. Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was I have my theories about that with the entity thing. It just seems like the thing I thought was, I think somewhere in my mind, I remember them talking about how the Gorn have been around for a long time, and they're very old too.
Well, how long is their hibernation? Do you remember from that stupid episode?
I
It's
don't,
like 10 years or something stupid.
something
Or
like that.
150 years. I think it's 50 years sounds right. I
Maybe it
don't
could have been 5 years, but
know.
But the thing that I was thinking was that the Gorn DNA in her, like either it's either promoting the idea that the Gorn are genetically engineered to like fight the things that was in Gamble. Like they
Like
would
the
like
alien and predators.
right, like they were created to fight these evil things that are in
Hmm.
Gamble. And so the
Seemed like
DNA
it,
is
yeah.
like hard code written to have her just be, angry at the thing.
And to recognize them no matter what form they're in.
But the thing that I thought was weird was that when they confront each other, I'm almost positive she's talking like Macroon language. She's almost
Yeah.
talking like what the guy, the Jaw guy down on the planet is like kind of talking about. So,
It's weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things. Is like I'm sure they'll explain it a little bit later, but at this point, like I don't know what to make of that whole situation. Honestly, like I just don't know. You know?
yeah, well, okay, so him bringing up, Gamble bringing up his Mbenga's daughter was pretty chilling, and what he was saying
Yeah,
to him was pretty crazy.
pretty bad. Yeah.
And then their fight between Patel and Gamble was like fine and kind of not well choreographed, but it's okay.
Swing your arms like a crazy lizard man.
Yeah. And then they put him in the brig and then he reaches through and he kills that red
Yeah.
shell, which was
So
crazy.
obviously, whatever this thing is can't be contained by that sort of stuff. Like the brig wall or whatever it is, the shielding doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Your m- your mother.
Yeah, mother.
It was so like, man, this guy's bad. And then he just snaps his neck anyway. So
Yeah.
I'm like, well, that's good.
And then Gotti like Pokeball captures him, right? After Pelia shoots him. So,
I'm so in Banga, I'm so scared.
but
Yeah, he does Pokeball capture him. That's right. Yeah.
but the thing that I you haven't gotten there. And I'm probably wrong
Mm,
because they haven't, I don't imagine that they're really doing this, but there is a species that definitely play into what this possibly could be. And it's like, I don't know. So this is the thing. If it's those things from, from down the road when we get there, if it's not, the thing that I'm hoping is that this is like Strange New Worlds coming up with like a new alien threat for their specific series that they'll deal
mm.
with and like who cares kind of a thing like they'll
Yeah,
defeat
right.
them and then the show will be over with and it's like they move on, right? I'm hoping that it's just a new alien species that they're creating for Strange New Worlds and they're not trying to make it like future bad guys.
They have to figure out a way to put them all to sleep.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like you said, that scene with them fighting is just like it's like cool, but like what?
I don't know.
Because it's like she has Gorn DNA, but like you said, it sounded like she was speaking in their native tongue, which
Right.
is weird. And
Yeah.
also it implies that like, well, this is a prison on this planet, so like whatever that entity thing is probably isn't from that planet either. It's like some
Right.
other species that's been imprisoned. And it's like, are all the things that Spock saw, are they all the same? Are they different?
Right.
Is it,
Like,
I don't understand
yeah.
what's happening.
And
Yeah.
I think that they intentionally want it to be like that, where
Yeah.
it's like
Which is fine. I like that. I like having like a new mystery thing.
yeah, it's like you don't really know if like the people who designed that thing tried to like what do you call it, preserve themselves in these things and they're just evil people or
Yeah.
they suggest in the episode it's a prison and they captured those things or
Right.
it's like a galactic prison and there's multiple bad things and they were able to like
Hmm.
basically make them like essence character like like to basically
Right.
take the essence of the thing and then like put it in a ball and it's like now they're encased in
I really like what you said. I really like if the Gorn were genetically created to like fight these things. Like I think that's a cool storyline.
it's kind of what I was wondering when Spock was
Cause
looking
she,
at the thing. I thought
yeah.
maybe it was a thing where he wasn't seeing it in the ball. It was the thing that was now in his head because of touching his like the little like nuance that was like left in his mind from what he saw with Marie was like reacting to seeing the orb.
Oh,
That's
that's right.
almost what I thought.
That's right. I forgot about that. I forgot about the mind meld thing. Yeah, that's true.
And then
That's true.
when the med bay thing happens, she reacts to it. I was like, and then she says to Pike on the bed, she's like, I don't know, I just had like this overwhelming instinct to like kill it. And it's like, okay, so she has Gorn DNA in her, and then like this is how they're playing things out. And I was like, does that mean that the Gorn are like I said, are designed to kill these things, like hunt these things down.
Yeah, I don't know. It's interesting. It's kind of cool. I hope to see
And it might be a
more of
thing
it.
where that's why they're so aggressive and so mean is like they can't tell the difference between who's overtaken by evil things and who's not. So
Mm,
they just kill everything in their sight. I don't know. I don't know.
gotcha.
That's
Well,
a
that,
stretch,
yeah.
but maybe.
Yeah. The only bummer is that next week will be a slapstick, whimsical episode, so we won't get any answers next week. The other thing too about this season is that I'll say it again, it just feels like they just blast through stuff pretty quickly.
Oh, certainly.
It's just like, hey, so we're doing this thing. That's been taken care of. Don't worry about it.
Also, yeah, it's a thing where they have a hard time balancing what they're trying to set up. They're trying to have it
Yeah.
be episodic, but then also like every storyline carries over, which
It's
is
just,
what you want from a show. But at the
yeah.
same time, they just kind of like
It's
fly
just,
through stuff.
I feel like it's just hard to keep up with because it's like, so it's like, so Chapel went to the academy thing, whatever, and she,
Right.
meets her boyfriend and then whatever. She comes back to the ship for that like celebration, then she's gone again. And then this episode, and Benga's like, he's talking to Pike and he's like, well, the ensign was supposed to leave when Chapel came back on. Now Chapel's back on and he's still here because I like him. And it's like, so Chapel's back on the Enterprise now? Like,
Right.
they just like say these lines and they're just like, yeah, all this stuff
Yeah.
it's all past. It's
I
all
know what you mean.
resolved. You
Yeah,
know
I
what
know
I
what
mean?
you mean. Yeah. Also, like the fact that we see Lon and Spock kiss, and you're like, uh-oh. And then this episode, it's just like Chapel knows it's a thing everybody's been talking
Yeah,
about. Like
everybody
they
knows they're
have,
dating, but like, they're just keeping it cool.
right. But like for us, that like just happened. And then for everybody else in the ship, it's like it's been a thing for a minute.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Who cares? Yeah, I know. I like how Lahan like explains like what they're doing, like they're just like being open and whatever. And then when Spock's in the elevator with Chapel, like now Chapel wants to talk to him all of a sudden about his
Yeah,
relationship.
whatever. Yeah. Uh-huh.
And he's just like, yeah, she's a really good dance instructor. And like that's it. That's all he says. And I was just like, yeah, my man.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm sick of that stuff.
I
If
am.
I'm being
I could
quite
care less
frankly,
about it. Yeah.
all of it. I don't think everybody needs to like. I get like you work on the ship, that's your dating pool,
Yeah.
whatever. If
Right.
Spock
Sure.
wants
Sure.
to be more human in this season, I'm fine with that.
Right.
Whatever, right? But it's like you don't have to cram it down my throat every week.
No.
I get it.
Yeah, last little bits we kind of touched on it. I enjoyed them all standing on like the platform and them figuring it out and then realizing they're in multi-layered dimensions and that they're all
It's cool.
together, but they're not really together. And I really enjoyed because I like time travel stuff. I really enjoyed when Chapel had Spock put the tablet
Oh, tablet. Yeah,
on the thing, and then Uhura put the ring on the thing, and then it all came together. I really enjoyed all
it
that.
was cool. I like how he was gonna try to steal that thing at the end too.
Well, yeah, he's an archaeologist. Don't you know that that's what they do?
It belongs in a museum.
So I really
Hmm.
also enjoyed the crystal timepiece thing that appears. That was
Yes.
cool. That was really
Yeah, that's what
nice.
he was gonna take.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Hey, so that's the only thing that's like holding
Ah,
us to the same time." Yeah.
no, let's not do that. And then
But he's like,
my favorite running bit in the episode, he's the guy, like you're saying earlier, he's the guy who's running this thing. And then it's like, no, he's not. Chapel's running it. And it's like, well,
"Yep,
he doesn't work. Then his response is like, well, I don't work for Starfleet. Like, okay. And then Spock comes down and it's like, okay, we're leaving. He's like, well, I don't work for Starfleet. And it's like, plus I'm with Chapel. And it's like, well, Chapel's not the senior officer. You gotta listen to Spock. I was like, oh, okay. And like every step of the way, he just kept being like, I don't do that. I don't work for Starfleet. And then he would just do what they would do. And it was just like, why keep saying that he doesn't do it and then have him not like do
yeah."
anything? It's like, it was
Well, because they don't know how
pointless.
to write his characters. That's what it is.
Yeah, it was
He's supposed to be
pointless.
this amazing archaeologist, and then he's just so
Yeah.
out of his depth this episode. And it's just, but they do the same thing with Sam Kirk. It's
Yes.
like, how many times do they put him on a thing where it's just like, he studies alien language and alien history, and
It
they put
wouldn't
him
put,
on a thing, and he's like, I don't know what any of this stuff means.
yeah,
Like, I'm so lost,
which
dude.
is exactly what I was thinking when he was in he was on the Enterprise. I was just like, why is he not on the planet?
Don't worry about it.
Like you have
Because he
Uhura
doesn't
now.
have a girlfriend. Will,
Exactly.
he doesn't have a
Exactly.
girlfriend.
Exactly. Right.
But
And
I remember I texted you last night like while we were watching it and I was just like, "Ooh, a double date archaeology mission? Sign me up."
the thing I said to Adri after it showed all the pairings, I was like, that's right. Injure the one guy who needs so that he can go back to the ship and kill the other one. Got it, so that we can have
Yeah.
this like
Yep.
the best.
The couples. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
And then so the last little bit was the thing I really hated, and I thought it was really stupid. And that's probably what knocked it down. And I know it's like a nothing
Mm,
bit, but I really hated it because it was just for TV tropes. It didn't make any logical sense. The paradoxical thing that like it's there, but it's not really there, like that didn't bother me. I don't care. Time travel
yeah.
stuff is weird. It was them standing there, and they're like, okay. The only way to do this is to let her go
You have to
first.
believe the
Right.
bridge is here. Yeah.
And then they take giant, huge steps off the platform. And I'm like, hey, so here's a cool thing that you can do. You could just
Yeah.
like touch it with your foot or like get on your knees and reach out with your hand. And it's like, it would be fine
Yeah.
because
Um,
it's not the temple prison thing isn't like reading your intent.
yeah,
It's
it's not telling you that you have to take a leap of faith.
right. It's just you believing that it's there and then just committing to it. So it's like, so just test it, right? I don't know. Throw a
Yeah.
phaser, throw a coat. Like, you don't need to be like, here we go. We're all going to step together
Let's
into
hold
the
hands
thing.
and jump.
Like, no, it's stupid.
Yeah. Like when you put your foot out to see like how deep a puddle is or something, you just
Exactly.
kind of yeah. No, it's pretty tropey. I thought you were gonna say the end when the entity is in the
Oh, in the
buffer
computer. No, that
and then he
didn't.
like changes he like that's
Nah.
such a like a ooh.
Yeah. I was
Tune
hoping
in
it
next
was,
week.
I was hoping that's going to end up being like a Han Solo movie thing where
Never see it again.
an evil thing is inside the computer, so it explains why the Enterprise sometimes does mean things to each other. I was hoping that's what they're going to do with it, but
This is why like holodeck stuff
exactly.
goes off the rails because this guy is real upset. So this guy then combined with Data's grandpa, they just wreak havoc on the ship.
Yeah, well, maybe his grandfather destroys him.
Why do they always take a bad thing and they say like we'll just put it inside the computer of the Enterprise, it'll be fine. Like hey, just don't. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to destroy the thing, but like don't put it in the computer system.
Yeah, I mean, it would be probably too difficult to see if you just transported the orb like into a sun or something. I probably wouldn't do anything.
That's what I thought like Scotty did because he like grabs it and then throws it and like beams it away or whatever. How I don't know, but
It's a thing where what we're gonna see now in the next episode is gonna be something else is going on, and then in the background things are gonna go like, bleh, 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 and then it's gonna be like, it's gonna show up on the thing and it'll be like, I kill you, I kill you, I kill you, and then it's gonna like they're gonna turn around and then it's gonna be like, oh no, it's fine, everything's fine.
do you believe in Banga that your daughter is well, or do you think she's burning and crying?
His
Yeah.
line of saying, "You believe that was your daughter?
Yeah, that's
It,
pretty.
it didn't just steal the skin of your daughter, and
And
now
she's
it is."
somewhere in pain and crying.
Something that is feeding. It was like drinking her tears and something of that. Yeah, like
Yeah, it
I
was real
was like,
bad.
I was just
Mm.
like, interesting. This guy is.
Don't worry, we're going to get you better. Right now, you're just very sick. So, do you think that she had like the headache because he
Yes,
was on the ship? Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
I think the DNA was like scrambling her to like react to it.
I can't believe something is going wrong with them fusing her DNA to Gorn DNA. I can't believe that's not going good. That's weird.
Amazing. Yeah.
Weird.
So let me show you this last little thing. This is legitimately something I came across, and I couldn't believe that somebody else was not just like kicked like being a moron, that they're like, this might be where they're going. And I was like, if they do this, I'm 100% not going to be okay with it. And here it is. They literally took the time and put her in his uniform.
It's pretty good. I told you she's gonna become the queen, and then
It's
they're
so,
all gonna be humanoid
it's,
after that.
it's so terrible.
You love it. You know you love it.
No, I hate it.
Oh.
Okay. Well, that was our discussion of the episode. But before we go, we have some comments on Space Adventure Hour.
Ooh,
Yep,
these will be good.
these will be really good. So, Ed Starr, he says, amazing. This is the same conversation I had with Milton, my brother-in-law, back in 1968. Star Trek The Original Series was canceled after season 3, and Milton was so happy. He said Star Trek was a poorly written show filled with silly, goofy ideas and immature solutions to problems catering to children. Of course, I disagreed with Milton, but I was an 11-year-old kid. Exactly the target audience Milton was complaining about. Many adults in my life in the 1960s saw Star Trek as a Saturday morning kiddie show on Thursday nights on NBC. Star Trek, like science fiction in general, has elements of fantasy that can lift stories above the mundane. There's fun to be had with Star Trek as long as you stay quote unquote in bounds of the structure established by the series itself. By season 2, TOS had established characters and a narrative tone that did not meld well with the all-out absurdity of farce or goofy slapstick comedy. There's a generation of fans who remember the fun of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Joss Whedon is brilliant, and he had fun and fantasy baked into his Buffy series right from the
Mm.
start.
Yeah, right.
The Star Trek mold is not suited to the quote unquote anything goes fun that some fans are looking for. That's why Hallmark Entertainment teamed up with the Jim Henson Company to create Farscape.
Farscape was good.
Yeah, he says this is a show with the quote unquote fun already baked in. And then he specifically references the episode Revenging Angel, where D'Argo attacks Crichton with such force that Crichton falls into a coma where his mind plays out events like a Looney Tunes cartoon, complete with sound effects. And then he
Kind of like the season
provides,
finale of TNG.
yeah,
The season 2 finale.
yeah. And then he provides
Yeah,
clips from the show, and I was like, yeah, yes, it's over the top and goofy, but like he
yeah.
said, it's been baked into the
Supposed to be.
show. Right.
Yeah. That was a great show. Did you ever watch Farscapes?
I totally watched Farscape.
Yeah,
Yeah, Farscape was great.
it's great.
Yeah, so I totally understand where Ed is coming from. Let's talk about what From My Office says next about.
Well, first I'll just say
Okay.
I want to say just enjoy what you enjoy.
Yeah,
Don't be a Milton.
very true. There needs to be less Miltons in the world. That's
Less Miltons, more Eds.
also sorry, not sorry, Milton.
He doesn't watch.
Okay, From My Office says about the episode. The premise: the showrunners, and director Jonathan Frakes have all confirmed in interviews that this episode was intended to be part spoof, part homage. I didn't have any issue with how they handled that. I like that they honor TOS and at the same time poke some fun at it all. Actors, Roddenberry, aesthetic,
Yeah.
and not take themselves too seriously. Which, yes and no, but
I can't believe he falls more on my side
he does fall more on your side.
than your side. I mean,
Yep.
mine is the correct side, but obviously, I thought maybe he would have the same issues that you did because you guys know more Trek history than I do.
Obviously, I've looked into it a lot more, and he's not incorrect that like they had better intentions for things. But
Yeah.
some of the stuff that they've come out and said at the same time has been,
Yeah, it has been kind of what you think it has been, you know.
yeah, they're keep riding the line of we don't intend for it to be, disrespectful, but you know what? It's kind of funny to be disrespectful, and you're like,
Like, wasn't that stuff like disgusting back then?
yeah, and I'm like, yeah,
Yeah, I know. I can see it. I can see both sides for sure. I
absolutely.
enjoy the homage stuff, I don't know.
I think my biggest hangup is it just was so referential that it took me out of the episode.
Well, it's way too niche. Like,
Right. He continues the prototype holodeck. I didn't take any issue with it either. The loose connection with the animated series was enough for me, though I think I would have made it look somehow more rudimentary than the TNG grid. That was
yeah,
stupid.
don't do the grid. Yeah.
They show it in the animated series. That's what it should look like. Making it look like the future grid was for people who don't watch Star Trek.
Right. But nobody in this, watched the animated series to even know that was a thing. So,
Still, he
so they
says,
would.
yeah, he says, I guess the science lab was how they were showing the need for so much extra cabling and equipment. I do like that it was too much for the ship to handle, which explains why the tech isn't ready and we don't see it until later.
Yep.
I take no issue with the avatars, and I really like seeing the cast getting to play different characters. And there's like things in the future that literal characters say in Star Trek about early technology. And it's just like a lot of the stuff that they like state in this episode is like, yeah, but then there's already like preset canon stuff that like that's not
Yeah.
true, but it's okay.
But that's always the problem with doing a prequel of anything. I mean,
Yeah,
it just is like you can't make it fun. Like this show wouldn't be fun and enjoyable if it went based on like canon stuff because they've already explained everything, from this time period. And it's like
right,
TOS is after this and they don't have all this fun
right.
technology. So it's like,
Well, yeah, why? No, I
what are you
totally
gonna do?
agree.
You know what I mean? So it's like
Like,
you're writing yourself into the corner, like starting the show off
and it's like,
like
well,
before
we
it even
want
gets
all
its
this
footing.
cool stuff that's in Star Trek. It's like, yeah, then write a show that can have that technology in it.
Yeah.
Anyways, totally agree with Caleb that Anson Mount was great in this one.
Yes.
He was.
He is good.
Then he speaks on Spock and La'an. I guess we'll see where this goes, but I don't think it's necessary. Unless she's the one that breaks Spock's heart enough to become more of the Spock we know. Otherwise, it's
I,
just superfluous, and I wonder what the point is.
yeah.
It's very much so.
It's very true. All of it's true.
If it wasn't for you bringing it up in this episode we discussed, I wouldn't even have talked about it.
Yeah. Well, it's just such a nothing
It's nothing.
sandwich.
It's nothing. Yeah. Ortegas. I take some serious issues with having Ortegas back in the pilot's seat so quickly.
Yeah.
They just wave it away with the whole reinstatement line.
But who
This,
else is going to fly the ship?
yeah, it's even her showing up in this episode was thumbs down. This,
Well, she's contractually obligated to show up at least
yeah,
every
true.
12 episodes.
This really undercuts the discipline she received just last week. The actress had plenty to do as her holodeck character. I don't see why she needed to be on the bridge. Will she be back in trouble next week? Nope.
Yep.
Nope.
She's in trouble, all right.
And then he finishes, I enjoyed this episode and give it 4 deltas. So he was right with
Ooh.
you, Caleb. There you go.
This never happens.
Then he says, Popcorn Award 2. Oh, wait, wrong show.
We don't do that on this show.
Then Britton Petal says, this one just confused me. I'm not sure whether it was satire or just kind of rude. Uhura's speech in the holodeck was great and should have been the moral of the episode, but it was buried beneath so much fluff.
Yeah.
I, of course, like them calling out the sexism of the 60s. La'an and Spock
Oh, yeah.
is a gag fest.
Yeah.
Absolutely no need for that. I would have loved to have seen them just be good friends. Not everybody needs to be in a relationship. Romantic love is not the only type of love that is good for a plot, and I say that as a romance book reader.
Boring.
Boring. Have you seen Star Trek? No. I don't
Uh,
want to be mean, but it genuinely feels like preteens are writing the dialogue in all these quote unquote romance scenes. I didn't hate the episode as a whole. I'm just confused.
yeah.
And that's how I generally sit. I've given it more thought and I've tried to like absorb what the showrunners and directors and actors and have said about it, but I think it'll perpetually stay at a 1 delta for me.
Yeah. I saw that interview with what's his name? The guy that
Paul
plays.
Wesley. Yeah, the thing I sent you from
Yeah.
Variety. Yeah.
And it's like he very much is trying to like get ahead of it and say like, "Hey, so I wasn't trying to be,
Right,
William
yeah.
Shatner. I was pretending to be this,
Like amalgamation of
60s."
different 60s people, right? And then
Yeah.
the interviewer keeps pressing him, and he's like, well, and then it's like, well, Jonathan Frakes totally wanted him to keep being stupid. And then it was like, and also like, it was hilarious that he was like Shatner. And it was just like, but
Yeah.
he was trying to get not do that. Everybody else
Yeah,
around,
because
like,
he knew like, well, everybody's gonna hate me, not,
right, right.
Frank's. They're gonna hate me for
Yeah. And then our last comment on there, Kaiser Skip says, cringe New Worlds. This was the most disgusting episode of New Trek. So, somebody who did not enjoy the episode.
didn't enjoy it.
That's all right.
Yeah, no, I think that's a good. I mean, that's a good opinion. I mean,
Yeah.
I get it. I get both sides.
Yeah. I don't know. It was not my word. It's not, for me, it's not the most hated episode I've ever seen ever. But I really did enjoy it.
It feels like
Yes.
this episode is cynical.
Yes. And
You
it
know,
is. There's no doubt about it. You don't pick characters to play Gene Roddenberry and Lucille Ball and Shatner and make all of these different jokes about that time period that are not just like tongue-in-cheek
Hmm.
jokes. They're all direct.
I keep going back to the thing where it's like if they made the fake show in this universe a Western,
Yes.
and you have him playing like, oh, isn't that funny? He's kind of like Shatner, but in a Western.
Yes.
The fact that you
Totally
make
different.
it a space adventure is
Right.
what makes it too close.
Yes.
Make it any other media and it would be funny. Then I would say like it's really funny that he's being like William Shatner. He's being Kirk, but he's on a horseback. Like that's
Right.
funny to me. Like I get it. I get the
And
joke.
you would totally let so much different stuff go.
Yeah.
Yep, totally.
But it's just too on the nose and it's too cynical for what it is. And it doesn't fit into the universe because the universe is already it's just weird. It's
Yeah,
too
I mean,
niche.
it's fine. I mean, all we know is that when the temporal cold wars shatter the timeline, that they lose their minds. Oh, that's what happened. I don't accept any other thing. Sorry.
I would love that.
It's what happened. You can love it because that's what happened. Literally almost nothing at this point connects to the rest of the
And the
franchise.
fact that they still are so adamant about like, oh, this is canon. All of this is canon. Like,
It's we're at a point where it's like, no, it's not.
I don't
It,
know whose canon you're going on, but it's not.
you have a blind character in 100 years who doesn't have functioning eyes, and then you're watching this episode where they're like, "We just built him. We're just growing him back in his head." It's like it's nothing. Like literally, the guy's head, right? His eyes explode, and he's like, "My God." And then they cut back to them on the planet, and they're all like, "What an interesting table this
Hmm.
is."
Well, he's on the ship anyway.
Exactly. And it's just like if it was that easy, 100 years before Geordi is on the Enterprise, it's like, where does that technology go? Why would Pulaski be like, well, anyways, it doesn't matter. So
So,
you've been watching New Trek Who Dis. We appreciate that. Make sure to do the fun, excellent things down below. And next week we will get into most likely Chuckle Part
yeah.
6, and that episode is entitled The Sailot Who Ate Its Tail.
Ooh, maybe not. Maybe it won't be whimsical. I
Maybe
don't know.
not.
I'm just waiting for the one where they have phones on the Enterprise.
So, thanks for watching. We'll catch you next week when we talk about Strange New Worlds.
Space. It's a really big place.
What a handsome race.
Galaxies, stars. These are the adventures.
Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this.
They say the eyes are the gateway to the soul, but in his case, they were the gateway to his brain. Wow.